You are listening to Power Marketing with Kevin Lee. Here's Kevin.
Collectibles is part of the many of the brands that you guys have. And part of collectibles is actually the concept of scarcity. And then when I think about scarcity and the sort of new version of scarcity, I can't help but end up at NFTs, right? Because they're built on this idea of scarcity and collectability. So how are you guys approaching that entirely new layer of collectability and scarcity with NFTs?
Well, there's an old saying, marketer, market thyself. I never really fully understood what that meant, but I will say I have a sense as to what it means. And I think what it means is you better be part of the ecosystem, whatever it is that you're working on. So if you're selling Dinty Moore beef stew, you better really know a little bit about corn and potatoes and turkey and all the stuff that goes into it and why people want to eat that and what they're interested in. But when you're talking about a digital platform like an NFT program, the first thing you have to do is demystify it and recognize that it's just the simple laws of economics. You have something that has supply, demand, and scarcity, like you just said. And you always avoid over shipping demand, always, no matter what it is. These programs, I will say early on, myself and the team became very much engaged. In fact, I have personally spent tens of thousands of dollars on NFTs and different programs. I have a pretty enormous collection myself. But you have to get into the psyche. You have to really dig into the psyche, which is one of the reasons why, it's the thing that separates someone who's doing a job and someone who's not really doing a job. It's their nature. It's part of who they are. So yeah, a couple things. One, if in terms of NFTs, demystify it. It's just another consumer product. This one happens to be digital. By the way, there's a lot of function to an NFT that perhaps people are fully not even aware of versus physical product. Let me draw a comparison. Okay. So I'm going to grab off my shelf a 1998 second anniversary Japanese promo card for Pikachu. Okay. This is a PSA 8. It's not that valuable, but let's just say for the purposes of this conversation, it's a $100 card. Okay. So in this hand, I'm holding something that has $100 in value, but the underlying molecular structure of this would cost maybe a few pennies to absolutely recreate. Now, you have to have all the systems and you have to have all the people, but just for the purposes of this conversation, if you had all the presses going, the underlying molecular value of this physical object is a couple pennies, right? Over here, I have an invisible NFT, okay? And there is no molecular structure. So its actual physical value is zero. But really the only difference between these two objects in terms of the true pragmatic value may be a couple pennies. It's the emotional attachment that you have to it that adds the additional value. So the emotional attachment to this particular thing, maybe $99.98. Over here, it's just $100 of pure emotional attachment to this for some economic purpose. And that's the way I explain a digital collectible versus a physical one. All the other properties are the same. The one thing that this has is that it's trackable, traceable, always, and that you can actually layer on additional features to it later. You can identify who owns it at all times, airdrop them other benefits, market to them very specifically. And, whenever you have something that's completely traceable and trackable, you have a lot of clever people figuring out ways to leverage that. So there's a lot of utility here, even though it's invisible.
Kevin Lee's Power Marketing is available on all your favorite podcast networks. Kevin loves helping businesses excel at marketing. Having marketing challenges? Just like Santa in The Miracle on 34th Street, if Kevin can't help you, he'll know someone who can. Find him on LinkedIn, subscribe, or follow.